Hey everyone, what's up? This is GroovisX, and good morning. What's morning now? Good day, good night, wherever you're at. Hey, we're just going to briefly talk about the new combat mechanic that I came up with. And again, this is all concept art. Everything you see, I designed this stuff just as to show the game off. There's a lot of ifs. If this all goes through, there's a 2D artist I've been speaking with, and it's going to look amazing. I've seen some of his work. Let's get right into this, because I don't want to keep you. I want this to be a one-part video. I already drew initiative tokens, and real briefly, levels now are, if you're level 1, monster or hero, you get 1 die. Level 2, you get 2, and finally for a maximum of 3, if you're level 3 or above. And I did this because combat was just too long. It was just taking too long. So it's a nice, when you start the game, like on a siege tile, everyone's level 1. Both the monsters and your heroes are not very strong, but as the dungeon gets bigger and bigger, your heroes are getting more powerful and more powerful monsters are coming out, and it makes more sense. It's more deadly for sure, but it was a nice change. Okay, so we're going to get this going here. The barbarian is up first, and he has a movement of 7. So I'm going to try to target this ogre, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and so here's all of his abilities that, when you start Dungeon Crusade, you only start with 1 basic. So we're going to say this is definitely mid to late game if you have all these abilities. He has basics, a few specials, and then he has this Crusader ability. So for opening up, we're just going to do Cleave, and that's a +9 to the attack roll. But remember, he's a level 3, so he will be rolling 3 dice. He has a legendary Axe of Slaying, and that's going to add a +5 to this roll. So we're going to add 5 and 9 is 14, and on a natural 18, 19, or 20, he could do 2 damage. So we'll roll. And the ogre's AC is only 11, and he hits on all accounts. So what we're going to do is you take all the dice, and we would add 14 to that. The ogre only has an AC of 11. So he hits, that would be 3 damage. See how that works? And he didn't roll 18, 19, or 20, or he would have got that extra one. So we're going to take 3 markers, and we'll put this over here on the ogre. Okay, next up would be the orc archer. He's a level 1, so he's only going to get to roll 1 die. And I've just been coining the phrase for this thing called the S die. And just like your heroes have special attacks and special abilities, so do the monsters. So his tactic is, real quick, he tries to stay at max distance from a hero. And he is going to target, he chooses the closest hero to attack and stays at the max distance from him. And he always tries to keep distance, and he will stay in a dark room. So he is in a dark room, and this dark room gives the benefit of healing. So he will regain 1 hit point at the end of combat if he's still alive. And this is why I say S die. When you roll, when we roll here for him, you roll the red die, the S die, and he has Surrogated Arrow. So what happens is if 16 or 20 comes up on this, we have to put a bleed token on the target. And then that hero, whoever, if they do get like a bleeding, I set this here to show you, if there's a bleeding token, you could either bleed out by 1 on your turn, or you could use your attack, like not attack, and like you're bandaging, and you stop the bleeding. So that's how a bleed token works. And we'll say that this one right here is his target. That's probably the closest, this warrior, so he keeps max distance. We move him back. And his stats are, he gets a +6 to his roll, and a damage of 1. So even if this came up 16 or 20, and this came up a miss, you wouldn't do that. He has to hit to be able to use that special. And he has a 9, and he doesn't. So, but he will hit though, because the warrior is only a level 1, and it's 13. So he does do 1 point of damage to the warrior. Okay, next up is the warrior, and I think that we're going to move. I was going to move down here and help out the barbarian with that ogre, but I got something else planned here. I'm going to try to come over here. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now normally, because he's level 1, he would not have all of these cards. I just put him in here to show you some of his things that he could do. and we're going to use this one, Dual Attack. Again, these are playtest cards, so the finished product's going to have graphics and it'll be real pretty and everything. So Dual Attack, you can make 2 attacks this turn on 2 different monsters or 1, and we'll add a +5. We look over here, he has the Sword of Vengeance, and that's good for 2, so we can add 7 to this, and we can deal 1 damage if we hit. So again, he only has 1 attack die because he's level 1. So let's see. So 10, and that was 5, 7, 17. The AC, we definitely hit him, and on a hit, we do an extra damage. So we'll do 2 damage to the Orc Archer. But remember, he's in that dark room, so at the end of combat, he's going to heal because he's in there. All right, moving right along is going to be now the Ogre is going to get to attack. And this is, again, important in Dungeon Crusade to do this because it's a tactical game, and, 1 space could be the meaning of you getting to a monster to attack. So he's by the Barbarian, and his attack is going to be the Ogre targets the hero who has the most adjacent heroes next to him possible. And what I incorporated, this was in my original Dungeon Crusade from years ago, that the reason he's going to target a hero with the most around him is because he has a special axe swing. And when we roll the S die, if 11 through 20 comes up, he hits all adjacent units. So the more and more I show of a lot of these monsters of special ability, it makes sense, and it's a very almost chess-like game, who to attack first and who to take out first, and it's just a very good mechanic. So we're going to see where he's going to end up. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll an 8-sider, so he's going to shift right there, and he is going to do. He has a chance to do massive damage. He's a Guardian, as you see, so he is going to get 3 dice to roll. And notice, though, his attack, we're going to add +8, but he can do 2 damage per die. So he has a chance to do 6 damage to our Barbarian over here. So we'll see what happens here, and we're going to add 8 to this roll. And he hits on all accounts. So that would be 2, 4, 6. He did 6 damage with that roll. Guardians and Lords always roll 3 dice. So hopefully you can see now, when as this is a much tougher game as it goes on. So our Barbarian has 6 hit points taken off already. Okay, moving along here, we're going to move to our Rogue. He's 5th. And let's see what we can do with some of his powers. Let's see, it's a special evasion. That wouldn't be good. Blade of Fury. Let's try the Twin Dagger. Let's see, add 7 to the attack roll. The Rogue makes 2 separate attacks to the same adjacent monster. I think that should be our tactic here. So let's go over here and move him up. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to use Twin Daggers on him. So we're going to add +7 to this roll. And he has a rare thing here. He has the Ring of Restoration. And it gives him 2 hit points back. So we're going to make 2 attacks, and we're going to add +7. And he is a level 2, so notice he will have 2. So let's see what happens. Okay, so 4 and 7 he hits because the AC of the Ogre is only 11, and definitely he hits with that. So he will do 2 damage to that Ogre. So we got him down. He's only got, what, we're playing on normal difficulty, say. That's Recruit there. Normal, Heroic, Legendary. So he's got 9. We got him down by 5, but then we get another attack here because we're using Twin Daggers. Again, +7. And we hit because that's a 9, and that's a 20. And there we go. We do 2 more damage on that Ogre. So 2 more hit points, and he is gone. Okay, I'm getting ready. It'll probably be a two-parter here because we're coming up. And hopefully you like this new mechanic. You can see how much it's more faster-paced and more deadly. So there we go. That was the debut of the new mechanic, and I will do one more part to finish up the combat here. Or I'll just show you one more example. So you guys have a good day. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you on part 2. See ya.